Building easels, sawhorses. We're building some heavy-duty sawhorses here that you can stand on. We're painting the sawhorses. We're doing a lot of prep work for this fence.
This reaction video, sponsored by Nationwide Industries, but Nationwide Industries is more than just a sponsor. I legitimately enjoy doing business with them, both with the Cornerstone 2 hinges and the Trident latch that we use on our pool gates, or on their full line of chain link hardware. They're great people to work with. I appreciate them a lot. If you're looking for a supplier, you should check them out too.
All right, guys, this video requires a little bit of setup. It's a long one. It's 20 minutes, but don't worry. We're not going to take all 20 minutes. We're actually going to speed it up to 2 times playback speed. I guess there's no narration. There's no talking in the video. It sounds like a silent film or something. We're going to watch it, and then it's also not really clear, I guess, exactly what they're doing. So we're all going to guess together exactly what they're doing. The title is Simple Way to Build an Amazing Fence, Fast Time Lapse by Creative Couple. So if you'd like to watch the video in its entirety without my talking over it, we'll have the link in the description below. Here we go. That's a cool house. There's a Japanese way of treating lumber, shugibon, I believe, which is to burn it to preserve it. So it looks like maybe that's some of what's going on here. Again, this house in the background, really cool. I mean, it's like a modern design house. I like where this is going already. So they cut a tree down. Okay, I like what they're doing here. So they've got drying strips that they're placing between the boards to make sure they get good and dry so that they don't worry about shrinking over time. That way, when you butt the boards up against each other, they don't gap that much. The gap you see in these boards is the boards just drying out. They're wet when they get cut. Most of the time, they're not kiln dried. So they still have most of their moisture content when they are nailed up. And then over time, they shrink as they dry. So think like a sponge. As a sponge dries, it loses a lot of its mass. Same thing with these boards. So by drying them out, they're going to be closer to true. I don't want to say you take all of the shrinking out of it, but I bet they're going to take a lot of it out. Okay, so we sealed the ends of the boards, much like what you'd see in a lumber mill operation, which is interesting. So they're planning on them staying there for a while. Building easels, sawhorses. We're building some heavy-duty sawhorses here. Okay, that you can stand on. We're painting the sawhorses. We're doing a lot of prep work for this fence. And they can stack. Okay. We're going to cut the lumber down. Maybe remove the old fence. Nope, we're just stacking up the pieces. Be interesting to know how long they left them to dry. They don't look like they aged that much. So lumber mills will typically treat the end of logs. They'll paint the end of logs with something similar to what they used, just to try to encapsulate the two ends so that they'll dry more evenly instead of wicking out either end. But that's typically when they're leaving the logs on the lot for like a year plus. So it'd be interesting to see how long these boards actually sat there drying. They don't look like they've aged much. We're wiring them together. Okay, initial guess is these are going to be post covers maybe. What do you guys think in the comments below? What do you think we're doing with these? Like I said, they look maybe like post covers. We're going to use some steel post, which would be a good idea, and use these to cover them up, maybe. Making a lot of them. It's the Shugi Bond part. Okay. Interesting. So maybe they're only wired together to create a chimney effect for the flames to go up. A lot of work to try to get that done, I guess. I guess that's the only purpose of wiring them together. I'm not familiar with the channel, but this might be one of those channels where, I don't know how to describe this, where they like intentionally do more work, but they show you like alternate ways of doing things. This obviously isn't feasible for like a fence company to try to do. But even from the DIY side, I don't know that this much work is required. So he's got a torch, or, like a propane torch there, to where you could torch these all without wiring them together, setting on fire on the inside, then soaking them to put it out, then rewiring them, unwiring them, rewiring them in the alternate direction to try to do the inside. Seems like a lot of extra work. It's a lot of work and a lot of mess, it looks like. Huh. So he created a jig there, or a template, to where, so he's drilling holes in all these. So the jig that he sets above makes sure the same holes are in exactly the same spot. It's a good idea. Right. Well, so we're priming them, but we're not removing the rust beforehand. Probably would have removed that rust before I started priming and painting. I like that he's making sure not only all of his joints are square or 90 degree, but he's also checked the cross reference, or the cross measurements from the bottom left to top right, bottom right to top left. Make sure it's really square and true. So he primed and painted it, but now he's cutting and welding. So again, maybe more work in the wrong order. You'd think you'd want to prime and paint it after the welding is done, so that you're not burning off any of that prime and paint, and then you're having to reapply it anyway. Let me know what you think. Watching a time-lapse video in 2x speed may be a little aggressive, but I think we get the point. He's building a single gate or a swing gate inside that slide gate, like a pocket gate. Looks like he's making his own hinges, maybe. Yep. So he's capping the post. Okay, so it's not going to be a pocket gate. It's just going to be a single gate inside the fence or built in with the fence. So completely metal frame fence, metal posts, metal cross rails, incredibly sturdy fence, I suppose. Interesting that they're mixing their own concrete rather than use like a pre-bagged mix. I'm typically more of a fan of a pre-bag mix. That way, you know the concrete is consistent every pour. Or with something like this, probably just bringing in a ready mix truck to pour. That way, again, you know the consistency of what you're getting rather than maybe get inconsistencies from mix to mix. Those gate posts are set incredibly well. They are not going anywhere. Okay, so they're using what looks like maybe concrete board that was up there before as a rock board. So it provides a space between their lumber that they've now treated with Shugibon, between it and the ground, basically preventing rot. Yeah, so they're creating a shadow box fence, space pickets on inside and outside. Look like their spacing's pretty tight, so it's going to give them quite a bit of privacy, but also look visually interesting. It's an interesting use of casters. It looks like the caster wheels are actually holding the gate up rather than they're pushing it up rather than pulling it up, if that makes sense. So typically when we would do like an enclosed track gate, the rollers would actually be like on the top rail, supporting it rather than on the bottom rail, kind of pushing it up, holding it up. You could probably be used either way, but interesting. Let's see how it works. Seems like it works out all right for the time being. They're even automating it. the gate automation experts out there would like to talk to you about the fact that this gate is nowhere near any sort of code compliant, much less UL 325. We didn't see any safety loops, any entrapment prevention, any photo beam eyes. So, it might not be the safest gate in the world. Is he making hand pulls for the gate, maybe? Before you continue, pause. Let me know exactly what he's doing with these in the comments below. Gate handles. Putting a top cap on it so that keeps water off the top of the pickets. Nice touch. Nice touch. Well, guys, what do you think of the fence? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, I'm Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors. I'll see you next time.